Hi everyone. I really don't know where I'm going with this one yet, but I wanted to use this beautiful stamp by Sentimentally Yours, and it's called the Papillon Paradise, and it's the journey. So this would be a really nice card for somebody who is going off on their travels. But I'm using this as a birthday card, so I'm going to be using the Essential Verses birthday. It's a happy birthday to you, but I'm going to mask off the to you because I only want the words happy birthday. And I'm going to heat emboss this stamp more than once, so I'm definitely going to do it twice, but I might do it 3 times. I'll see how we go. I've got myself a piece of white cardstock, which is 8 inches in width and 8 inches in depth, scored down the middle, and that makes the traditional slimline card. I've got 2 more pieces of white cardstock. This one is 7 3/4 in depth by 3 3/4 in width, and then the piece I'm going to be working on is 3.5 in width by 7.5 in depth. So that's what I'm using. I'm going to take in my stamping platform, and with the piece that I want to work on, I'm going to butt this right down in the corner and right up to the edge and just secure that there. I'm going to take in my anti-static bag, and I'm just going to give this a really nice wipe over because I'm going to be heat embossing this more than once. I want that to be as clean as possible. So if I take in the stamp that I've chosen, and I think that's the right way up. Now I know that this stamp is longer than my piece of cardstock, but I'm going to pop that right down at the bottom, get that nice and straight down the center, move those magnets over a little bit, try and get the same amount of border both sides. And I'm just gonna pick that one up. There we go. Just always making sure that that cardstock's right in the middle. I'm going to pull this back, and then I'm going to roll this back on itself to try and alleviate any air bubbles. So taking in the Versamark, which is the clear ink pad, I'm going to ink up this stamp, and we're going to heat emboss this. And I thought I'd like to do this in 2 colours. We'll see how we get on with the first one, but I was thinking I'd like to do gold and copper. So now if we bring this across and give that a really nice firm press down, and when I lift that up, I should, yep, I can see that I've got a really nice stamped image there. I'm going to take in a piece of copy paper, and with the Wow Metallic Gold Rich colour, I'm just going to run some embossing powder all over there, let that fall, give that a nice flick off. Now if you watch me do my embossing, 9 times out of 10 I like to go both ways just to make sure that it's caught in every area. I think we've got a tiny bit just there. Yeah, there we go, that looks fine. So just pop that to one side a minute while I pop this back in the jar. And I'm going to heat this up on number 2. Let that warm up for a few seconds. And I like to start from the back. No rhyme, no reason for it. I just like to get that cardstock heated up at the back. And then when I come round to the front, that should go really quite quickly. So there we go. So there's our beautiful image, heat embossed. Now your cardstock will warp a little bit, so just give that a little tweak. And then we're going to pop this straight back in exactly the same place. This is why we popped it in the corner, tight to the corner, tight to the side, so that we know that that's in the same place. We haven't moved our stamp. Just going to let that cool down for a couple of seconds. And I'm going to give my stamp a really nice clean off. And try and get rid of as much of that Versamark ink as possible. Okay. Now I'm going to go over my image again with my anti-static bag, and this is just going to try and help avoid the next colour sticking to where I don't want it to stick. And this time, taking back in my Versamark ink pad, I want to pick out just a few places. I'm not worrying what I pick out. I just gonna try and maybe do that butterfly. I do maybe a little bit of that butterfly, and then just a few other areas. So we're not doing the whole stamp, we're just doing random areas. I'm gonna bring that across and stamp that one down. My husband's been in bed with, well, man flu. And I've got a funny feeling that he's most probably given it to me, because I can't stop sneezing, and I just think that's all I need at this time of year, but never mind. Can't be helped. This time I'm going to go over with the copper, and I'm hoping that the copper is only going to pick up on those areas that I stamped, which it has. So can you see we've got some copper on this butterfly, a tiny bit on these down here, some on this one, a bit up in that corner. I am going to go the opposite way with that, just to make sure that it catches every area that I wanted. I think that looks going to look beautiful. I'm going to pop this one back in the jar. Now this copper one is, I think, this is Paper Mania, whereas the gold one was the Wow. This is by Paper Mania. I'm going to take in my heat gun again on number 2. Just go from the back for a couple of seconds. You will find that the second time round this will heat up quite quickly. There we go, we're going already. And just give that one a heat up. So that's double embossed, and can you see, if I turn it this way, how we've got the copper and the gold? Beautiful. I'm going to pop that back in again, right up to the edge, or shall we just leave it as it is? Gold, copper. Yeah, I think I'll leave it as it is. I don't want to spoil it. Perhaps I'll do a video on seeing how many times we can go over with different colours. But that's our topper at the moment. So I'm going to take off this stamp and pop that one straight back on its carrier sheet. There we go. We don't need that at the moment. Just give this a little wipe down. So there's our beautiful topper, which is going to sit on top of our piece of white cardstock. But what I'd like to do with that first of all is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take in a Distress Oxide, and this is the Rusty Hinge. I'm going to give that a spray with some water. I'm going to take a piece of scrap cardstock and I'm just going to move that about a little bit. There we go. Give that a tap off, and I'm just going to pick this up. I'm not worrying about the middle, and I would like some tiny bit of white on the edges. There we go. So that is enough for me. Give that a wipe up. Again, I'm going to take in my heat tool because I haven't got time to wait for this to dry naturally, and this time on number 1, and we're just going to gently dry that off. Now you can, if you want to, take in a kitchen roll or your craft cloth and just give that a dab over. And that helps it on its way. But that's almost dry now, so there we go. So this is our first matte layer, and this is going to be stuck to our card, and then our topper is going to be on the top. Now this one I am going to put up with foam tape, so we're on a nice line of foam tape. all around the edges, a piece all the way down the middle. And give those a nice burnish. And as always with my cards, even though this is a small area, I am going to take my backings halfway. I will take the bottom one off and the top one, but the sides halfway. Oh, done that wrong, but never mind. Remove that middle one completely. I'll take that one halfway, right off, sorry. So get this nicely lined up, top, bottom, same amount at the top, bottom and on the side. And you know that if you've got the top and the bottom and the side the same, it should sit on there quite nicely. So remove those backings. Turn this over now and give that a nice press down. And then with our copper piece, this is going to sit on the top like so. I am going to take in my rusty hinge and pop some down on my mat. Give that a good water up. And with this one, I take in a fan brush. I don't want any on these edges, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a piece of cardstock there and another scrap piece just there. And I'm just going to give this a flick. Like so. If I remove them now, you can see that the sides are nice and clean. So give that a nice wipe off. I am going to heat that on number 1, dry that off. Don't want to do too much heat because we don't want to reactivate that embossing. So what I am going to do is go in with my cloth and just go over those. There we go. And then this is going to sit quite nicely, our card like so. And this one I am going to glue down. Now I've been using this Collal glue, but I don't know if I'm impressed with it at the moment. I know a lot of people use it for 3D construction makes, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to play ball with my cards. And if I don't close it up straight away, it just pours out. Anyway, let's see how we get on with this one. So again, top, side, bottom, and that should all line up quite nicely. Is that a nice press down? And those are really pretty double embossed, double heat embossed card. Now for our sentiment, I said I wanted the happy birthday. This one says happy birthday to you, so I'm just going to mask off the to you. Get that one nicely lined up on my glass mat. Pick that one up, and then if I take in some sticky tape, can't seem to do it. Let's do it that way. There we go. Let's put 2 on just in case. There we go. So we've masked off the to you, and we've just got the happy birthday. So VersaFine Onyx Black. Give that a nice stamp up. Now these scraps that we use, that side's nice and clean, so we're not going to waste that. Always remember to take off your tape. I'm just going to stamp happy birthday just there. Give that stamp a clean off. I'm going to pop that one straight back. And with this one, I'm going to cut this one up here. Got a little black mark there, so I'm hoping, there we go, we can just get away with that. Happy birthday. Do I have it that way? Yeah, and just pop a little. And this is going to sit across the top. Now I am going to pop this one up with some foam pads. I'm just going to take a bit off of the bottom of there. Take those backings off. And this one I'm going to pop just there so that it's in line with the outer edge. Just make sure that's straight before we commit to sticking that down. And there we go. So that's a really quick and easy, pretty, double embossed card using minimal products really. And all we need to do now is stamp a nice sentiment on the inside. Now I don't know what I've got here. Today is your birthday. It really will be great. This card is made just for you to help you celebrate. Actually, that's quite a nice sentiment. So get this one down. Make sure that's straight. There we go. Open up your card. And then again with the VersaFine Onyx Black, now if you're not comfortable with stamping straight onto your cardstock or your card, you can always stamp this onto another white piece and then glue that in. So this one's going to go more to the top. I'm going to get my cardstock nicely lined up, more to the top, just there. And then there's our really nice sentiment on the inside. Today is your birthday. It really will be great. This card was made just for you to help you celebrate. And I think that's really pretty. And done in, actually, even in the gold and the copper, I think it's actually quite a nice card for a man as well as a lady. So there we go. That's today's really quick tutorial. As I said, when I started this card, I didn't know where I was going with it or what I was doing. But we've ended up with something really quite pretty. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial. Hope you've learned something. Hope you have a go at double embossing and maybe have a go at triple embossing. Just always clean your stamp off before you put the next layer on, because there'll always be a little bit of ink left on the stamp which will transfer onto the card. But there we go. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, bye for now.